All right, we are here. I am super excited to have these lovely ladies with me today. I couldn't ask for a better way to spend my afternoon. So I want to go around first and foremost and do some intros. So Dr. Ross, starting with you, tell everybody who you are, what you do, your background, as much as you want or as little as you want.
Awesome. I'm terribly excited to be here today with Dr. Strozier, Dr. Jones, and of course, Jeff. This is awesome. This is so exciting to be a part of something like E2M. I'm telling you, it's changed my life. I mean, I have been a physician for over 25 years, and I have been preaching these same things that E2M is preaching to folks and trying to make them healthier for my whole career. But I tell my friends and I talk about how the fact that Jeff pretty much pulled together everything that we've been talking about. But I am an internal medicine doctor with a focused practice on hospital medicine, and I am a business owner. I own a home care company where I take care of seniors and disabled adults in their homes. So I take care of folks with heart disease, strokes, diabetes, hypertension in the hospital environment. So I see end-stage disease. So it's really important to me that folks are able to see what's coming at the end if they don't change their lifestyles. So my whole goal as a physician is to educate and empower folks to advocate for themselves and to own their own health. So really glad to be here and to share everything that I know. I'm a mom of three. I've got a college student at Spelman College, Morehouse College, and I've got a junior in high school. So, and a husband of 23 years, Mark Ross. So we've been in business for a long time. We're partners and we're husband and wife. So life is good for me, and it's even better now that I'm doing E2M Fitness. So
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you for being here, Doc. I appreciate you. All right, Dr. Jones.
Hello, I am Dr. Barbara Joy Jones, and I am a primary care physician, board certified in family medicine. I have known Jeff since college when we were in college together in Charleston. Long time. And just happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I actually joined E2M in May of 2020, back when there was only 3,000 people. And so back at it's, close to inception time. And it's amazing to see how much it has grown since then. And I joined to get ready. I was a pandemic bride. So I joined to get ready for my wedding. And I'll let you know, I was looking real good in my wedding dress. Thank you, Jeff.
That's right. I saw it.
Yes.
I seen it.
Along with being a physician, I am the chief medical officer of the Healthy Woman Primary Care.
All right.
My office is in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
All right.
And I also am in media. So you may have seen me on CNN or Headline News. I do a lot of podcasts, a lot of TV. I love having wider audiences than just one-on-one. And I'm also a model. So that's what I do. Happy to be here. I'm married to my husband, Louis. And E2M has changed my life. Also, my husband's in, my sister's in. And so I'm seeing transformations in colleagues, friends, and family. So happy to be here and to co-sign something that is life-changing for many people in my life.
I love it. Thank you for 20 plus years. I won't say how many years. 20 plus years of friendship. I appreciate you, Doc. All right, Dr. Strozier.
Hi, I am Dr. Strozier. I am in Columbus, Georgia. I'm a board certified OBGYN physician. I have over 15 years of experience in women's health. It is my passion. I see a lot of women at various points in their life, whether they are trying to conceive, they've had a baby, they're trying to lose their postpartum weight. I also take care of women when they're not pregnant as a gynecologist, so I do a lot of preventative medicine. We're doing well woman exams, PAPs, the preventative stuff, mammograms. I also see women at unfortunate times when they're dealing with cancer, uterine cancer, breast cancer, all of these diseases that affect a lot of women. So anyway, I'm really passionate about E2M because this program has been so helpful for me. I got burnt out during pandemic in medicine. Probably a lot of people in healthcare got burnt out. I took a break from my traditional practice and I decided to do some travel work. And so I joined E2M when my friends were like, Curtina, you can do this. You absolutely can join. You can do your workout in the hospital. You can do your workout when you're in the hotel room. And when we think about pandemic, when we think about flu, we think about COVID, we don't want to be around people. We don't want their germs. So this made it easy to be able to work out anywhere. I would take my yoga mat if I was concerned about the floor wherever I was, and I could do my workout, pull up my phone, and just stop and do what I was doing. I would meditate. And so E2M has been very, very helpful in that aspect. I have 2 children, a daughter that's 13 years old, so I also deal with that age group of young girls. And I have a 6-year-old son who is full of all kinds of energy and in every sport. So I am just glad to be here and talk about E2M, the programming, the workout, but more importantly, a healthy lifestyle change that can be a lifelong commitment.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, I'm going to stay with you, Doc, and I'm going to ask you the first question of the day. Tell me a little bit about your E2M journey. Take me from the time you learned about the program to where you are now. Take me through your journey.
Okay. So I have 2 really good friends who are also physicians, and they were telling me about how they had got fit. I was like, girl, you dropped weight. You look really good. And I was like, what are you doing? And they said, we joined E2M. I was like, what is that? Is that a program? You got to like buy a diet plan? What is it? And so no. It's on Facebook. It's really easy. It's we have a coach, Jeff. And I was like, who is Jeff? Like, why is he so formal? Like, who is Jeff? But he is the man, and really laid back, just really down to earth. And so they actually talked to me about it a couple of months before I joined. And they said, oh yeah, this person's in it. This person's in it. You're Facebook friends with it. People meet each other through social media platforms. But I can't tell you how many people in our group have been connected either through sororities, through other organizations, through their jobs. And so it has been transformational. So
love it.
Once they told me about it, I went on and signed up, and I had a community of friends that said, okay, you're going to look at Jeff. You're going to get on this, he has a live that he's going to do beforehand. And so I joined that live. I learned everything I needed to learn. And then I also had so many friends, the community that supported me and said, this is what you need to go by. Let's do it this way. I was really intimidated. As a physician, yes, I don't have a lot of time. I was intimidated by the meal plan. I was like, that to me, for a lot of people, can be a deterrent.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But you made it easy. A lot of moms are like, how can I eat healthy for me? And also, these kids are not going to want to eat this.
100%.
Some things you can also educate your children, because what you cannot ever do is change your DNA.
100%.
You can't change your genetics. So if you are in a family where obesity is a prevalent, issue in your family, what you can do is change your environment. So you're also teaching your children. I teach my patients this as well. But we find fun ways to eat healthy, but I also am able to incorporate whatever the children want to eat and not feel guilty for allowing them to eat their chicken nuggets or whatever it is they want to do. But we also talk about the health benefits. So my journey with getting started was a little slower than I had anticipated. But once I started, I hit the ground running, and it didn't matter where I was. Where I was, I just committed to a certain plan. And if I fell off, I was not at all disappointed. But I also kept the mentality that's, if I'm in the airport, I'm not going to take the shuttle. I'm going to walk through the airport. I'm going to become more active. So it was the mental motivation that got me involved and kept me going through this process. So I'm most people put on like the COVID-19 pounds, but we were able to get rid of that with E2M. And so I'm so grateful for that.
I love it. Hey, thank you, Doc. Okay.
Awesome.
Dr. Jones, tell me about your E2M journey. Now, you were one of the earlier people to come in. I continuously made the program better over time, but you came in a long time ago. So give me a little bit of feedback on your journey.
So I started in May of 2020. Back when we only had about 3,000 people. It was very intimate at that time. And my role was I need to get right and get tight and get good looking for this wedding I was having. I was a pandemic bride, and we had a wedding October of 2020. So I wanted to get fit for that. So that was my why at the time. And I just really enjoyed the process of having everything laid out. So, I was a college athlete, played basketball at Charleston Southern University, and we had coaches and trainers that told us what to do. So although I had the knowledge, the application was it. So at that time, you had Jamie Touchberry. Yes, Jamie Touchberry. You made her like my little mentor. And so she literally checked on me every single day, and I had that accountability. So because of that, she checked on me every day to make sure, because you put us in smaller groups, and we had our little, y'all, that's what he does. He puts us in smaller groups so that there is accountability, and puts like someone who's an OG in charge of the new Gs.
There you go.
And so at the time, I was a new G. Jamie Touchberry was an OG. And so she checked on me every day. And so I felt that accountability, just like in college when I was playing basketball with coaches and trainers. And so she kept on me. And I lost about 20 pounds going into the wedding. And then after that, with each cycle, sometimes on, sometimes off, just depending on life stuff. But I knew what I could come back to. It wasn't like all in or all out. The process that you gave us was you can come in, and some people are gung-ho on the workouts and they might slack on food, or 80% of how you feel and health is actually food. I would come on board and do the food process and meal prep and eat healthy. And then I might walk or do yoga a couple times a week.
There you go.
But that was still keeping me healthy. So it wasn't like when I left E2M, I left it completely. There were always different situations in which I could come back part of the way, that you weren't completely out. There's a little bit of a gray area. And you'll hear people that say, I did the diet well this cycle, or I did this, or I did that, or I was able to do this. Because we're real, actual human beings in the real world. Yes. And so people have different situations, divorces, death, COVID, all types of stuff that happen. So I've been in, 2.5 years now?
Oh, yeah.
And have brought family members. And one person, my sister, Christina Marie, she lost 50 pounds so far.
Love it. 50 pounds.
50 pounds. And she has such a sense of community that she has her little group of E2M people that some she's met in person and some who she hasn't. But she came to the Atlanta meetup and introduced herself, and she came by herself. So for people who think that this is too big, yes, it's big, but there's also intimacy.
We chop it down.
Yeah. And that's my experience. Just happy to be a part of it. And it's lifelong. Once you commit, grandfathered in, and it's a lifelong journey to continue once you use the tools.
I love it. And before we hit Dr. Ross, I want to talk about something real quick. So E2M stands for Eager to Motivate. That's our whole business motto, our whole business plan. We're here to motivate people to be healthier, to take care of themselves, to be more focused on living a healthy, fit life. And when you hear different terms like OG and New G, we train in groups. So we train in 8-week spurts. We don't train anybody in between. So we train in 8-week groups. We do that because we want people to have a community around their fitness journey. I want people to have others that are on the same journey as themselves. It kind of helps people stay on track. So when you hear the term OG or New G, OG is an older group, so a previous cycle of my rounds of groups. And a New G would be somebody that's currently going through my program. So if you hear OG or New G, that's kind of where that comes from. Okay, so Dr. Ross.
Awesome.
Let me hear your journey.
Yeah, so I am a Delta, and I have about 20 sorority sisters that are doing E2M, and they pulled me in back in March. So I was on vacation in Cancun, eating whatever I wanted to, laying on the beach, and all the while I'm looking at them talking the group me about all the healthy changes they were making. So I felt sort of, bad about all the margaritas I was drinking, but I got through it, the vacation, and then when I got home, there was a lot of pressure to change my lifestyle. I had friends who were really insistent that we needed to do better. So me and my line sisters are still in this together. For me, E2M has really been a change of a mentality. I'm a Southern girl. I was born in Waco, Texas. I grew up part of my life in Alabama, and then I moved to Spelman College and been in Atlanta off and on ever since. And I got to tell you, a part of my lifestyle really is heavy breakfast. Pancakes, waffles, bacon, orange juice, heavy dinner, meatloaf and potatoes and things like that. And so I'm really accustomed to eating well. I've never been heavy, but excuse me, as a physician, what I realized was knowledge definitely does not determine whether or not you're going to change your lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So I had all the knowledge for the last 20 years, but because of the way I was raised and the habits of eating, I definitely had some things to change. So E2M has helped me with intermittent fasting. I can now live between meals without thinking about food. I wake in the morning and I eat a high protein breakfast as opposed to one that's high carb, high sugar. I've been able to give up sugar and milk in my coffee,
There you go.
which has really been huge for me. You know, raised in the hospital, I trained at Grady. And so as an Emory resident,
I was at Grady,
All
Morehouse
right,
School of
that's what I'm
Medicine.
talking about.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we drank coffee a lot in the
We did.
hospital. You
Okay.
know, drinking coffee
Yeah.
was a way to survive. But
Mhm.
I always drank coffee with sugar and milk.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just how you drink
That is.
coffee.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
think, you know, leaving that out of my coffee has, one, made me appreciate the taste of
Yeah.
coffee, but I think it's really taken some pounds off. I mean,
Absolutely.
and
Exactly.
so I've lost about 10 pounds over the last round. But
There
more
we go.
than that, I have mental clarity.
Oh, yeah.
I have more energy.
Yes.
I just feel like a different person.
And
So
she looks
I'm
good.
really
Yes,
excited.
you do. You look good. I see that little slim waist, honey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you know, the change E2M has brought to my life has really been good over the last 6 months. So I'm really excited about it.
All
I
right.
have my line sisters to thank too. So
I love it.
And you're right about the
Yeah.
knowledge. We have
Yeah.
the
We
have the
knowledge, but
knowledge.
if you had the knowledge, everybody would be like slim and pretty and
That's right.
handsome.
I love
But
it. I
it's
like it.
application of
it's,
knowledge.
it's
100%.
Yeah, and
application,
she's talking
yeah.
about our groups. We have a group of women from Jack and Jill in
Okay.
our chapter, and we have our E2M group. We are
Mhm.
adding to that. And so you
Yeah.
have a lot of initiatives and a lot of major organizations to be
Yeah.
healthy, but actually setting up the network, the community, the accountability factor. That is where those smaller groups are coming
Yeah.
in and playing a role.
And
So
we're part of
Yeah.
the
we are
Women
part
of
of the
Color
Women's
Physician Group.
I
Get
love
right,
it.
get
I
tight.
love it.
That's right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
there's
it.
little, hey, it's big
Yeah.
but small.
I
Right.
love
big,
it.
but it's
So,
small.
so ladies, let's start jumping into the real stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So one thing I did notice, and I'm sure a lot of people notice this same thing, when you have people like yourselves that know how to be healthy, that tell people how to be healthy, but you're actually too busy, and that's the common thing we always hear.
Right.
I'm too busy to work out. I'm too busy to eat clean. I'm too busy to eat right. How are you able to incorporate the E2M program into your busy lives? Because that is one of the biggest things people talk about. I'm way too busy to go to the gym. I'm way too busy to work out. I'm way too busy to eat healthy. I can't cook for myself. Busy, 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 busy. And I know you guys are all busy. So how
Right.
are you able to make that work? Anybody can
Absolutely.
go first.
Well, I got to tell you, I
Mhm.
put my yoga mat in my bathroom.
Mhm.
So I am able to, you know, put my phone right there in the bathroom.
I
I'm
love it.
doing my exercises right there. I get out of bed in the morning. I go right in the bathroom. I can work out, take my shower, and I'm on my way. You know, I don't see any reason that you cannot incorporate E2M in your life. It is a convenient way to think about health. It allows flexibility. You can also do the replay if you don't have time in the morning to
Yep.
jump on.
Yep.
It's just, and it's low cost. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need a whole lot of special equipment. E2M just didn't provide me with any excuses. Really, I can't
Absolutely.
make any excuses. It's
Mhm.
very livable. So
I
Love it.
agree. I totally
Mhm.
agree. And when I think about OBGYN, I think about how much I worked. I can recall working about 108 hours one week
Man.
Dang,
and
are you
feeling
still a
like
resident?
Wow.
no, I was just
Yeah.
busy. We had
I love
lost
it.
two of our call partners were out of the call rotation, and so I was on call every 3 days
Yeah.
and delivering babies, being in the hospital, and just feeling
Mm.
exhausted with everything. Um, and so when I look back to times when I was successful with weight loss,
Yeah.
this was a way that I could incorporate the busy lifestyle. Okay, I'm stuck at the hospital,
Yeah.
but either I'm going to take a nap or I'm going to do a quick workout.
I
I'm going
love
to take
it.
a nap. I'm going to do a quick yoga because you know
I
what?
love it.
It's also going to help me reset. It's also going to clear my mind
Yeah.
from
Right.
whatever is stressing me out in that moment.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't talk enough about stress.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't talk enough about
Oh,
how
right.
those life stressors are affecting the chronic illnesses and how you have to be able to have a reset, how
100%.
you have to reset. And so it's been very fundamental there. And then also, when you're being intentional about what you're putting into your
There you
body,
go.
when you're planning a meal, so I know at the hospital at certain times the
Mhm.
cafeteria is going to be closed, but I
Right.
also know that I could go
Yeah.
get a salad or I could have something for later
Yeah.
on.
Right.
So you're
Mhm.
planning your meals, even if I don't take something from home, or if, let's just say
Mhm.
I'm going to be there for, I don't know, the 24-hour shift. I'm
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
choose the healthier choice.
Love it.
I'm going to get baked instead of
Right.
fried. I'm going to make sure that I'm incorporating vegetables. And, I think you constantly are having a reminder, and you have
Yeah.
in our groups, people post their
Yeah.
lunch. And that's
Yeah.
amazing because then if they're
Yeah.
doing it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse.
Right.
And so I
Mhm.
really like that
Love it.
flexibility. To me, I think a lot of times people say, "Oh, I waited till the last minute, so I got a bad choice." You don't always have to get a bad choice. A lot of even I don't like people eating out, but I want
Yeah.
you to eat.
Yeah.
But there are salads at most fast food
100%.
places.
Yeah.
So there are
Right.
ways to improvise and to still be healthy. If you even look at some of your I've been on a lot of road trips. My kids are involved in everything. And I have to maybe stop at a gas station
Yep.
because we got to grab something. But
Mhm.
you will see protein all throughout. So you're just being intentional about what you pick up off the shelf if you're going to take something on a road
Yeah.
trip. So, or you'll plan it. Oh my gosh, my girlfriend, Nicole, Dr. Cole, we were in.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily recommend this. I'm an OBGYN, but she had her protein and she had
Yeah.
the little she had a little bag of seafood with her.
Oh,
She said,
man.
I have this planned for later. It's my time to eat my scallops. I was like, girlfriend, you got the seafood in here. I'm an OBGYN. We can't be smelling like fish, but that's how committed people are to the
Savage.
program. I was so embarrassed. But she was
Savage.
dedicated. She was so dedicated to staying on her protein at that moment.
Savage.
That's the dedication that
I
you
love it.
have out there
Yeah.
in the community. And so, yeah, people are planning.
Yeah. So
Trust me.
so let me ask you this one real quick, Doctor, to
Okay.
follow up on that one. If somebody was like, "Girl, I'm too busy. I don't got time. Fitness
Right.
program, I don't got time for
Right.
that."
I'm going to say not so. This is not necessarily a fitness program. This is a lifestyle change.
Okay.
It's accommodations. You don't have to be extreme with it. Let's figure out. Let's look at life. I break down what is the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
What are your barriers
Mhm.
to doing this? Is it your time? Is it the children? Let's look at life. What do? Oh, I cook for my my elderly grandma. I have to make sure the kids have all their meals. Okay, what are you cooking?
Yeah.
So let's talk through what you're cooking, because if you need to cook healthy for yourself,
Yeah.
you could also be helping your family members. So let's
Yeah.
talk through what cooking looks like. Let's talk through what meal prep looks like.
Right.
And so I kind of make a little bit of
Yeah.
those comments to just kind of help them shift that. Now, where do you have time during your day? Oh, well, I come home sometimes and I
Yeah.
start my meal. Okay, well, while you're starting your meal, do you have faster ways to cook it? Can you do a quick workout in there?
It's true.
Those are the types of things. Those are conversations we're having.
It's true.
So just breaking down, what does your day look like?
I love it.
Can you start in the morning? If you can't start in the morning, can you do it before you go to bed? Can you do it, somewhere in between?
Right.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of patients that have children that are at this activity. Can you leave your car and walk
Yup.
while you're
Yup.
waiting?
Yup.
Or can, just ways to be
Find
active. Can
time.
you
Right.
find time? Can you do a
Yep.
little workout while they're doing their workout? It's doable. Absolutely. No excuses.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, I've been knowing you for years and you stay extra busy.
Yes.
So how do you find time, Dr. Jones? You tell me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I am busy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell myself you need to sit down a little bit now.
Yeah.
So E2M actually
Yeah.
makes what is complex actually
Mhm.
applicable and simple.
Yep.
So when we talk about the financial barrier, when you're on E2M, you actually save money.
Tell 'em.
Because
Tell 'em.
when you are on E2M, you actually save money because when you prepare your food and you're
Yeah.
preparing on that Sunday night, you might prepare once a week or you might prepare, twice a week on a
Yep.
Sunday and a Wednesday.
Yep.
Because you're preparing and you're buying in bulk, you actually save money because you're preparing your meals for the entire
They
week.
don't believe me when I say it.
Right. It is when you don't know what you're going to eat and it's on the fly that you actually waste time
Yep.
trying to find what to eat. And you're going to find what's available, which usually has preservatives,
It
sugar,
does.
and vegetable seed oil in it.
Yep.
And then you feel terrible afterwards.
Right.
So it simplifies that. As far as working out, same as Dr. Ross. In the morning, I'd have my yoga mat out. I would wake up 45 minutes earlier than I would usually. For me, the HIIT workouts were only 35 minutes
Yeah.
because I would actually skip the time in between. I would only do instead of 2 minutes, I would just do 45 seconds of rest
Yeah,
in
yeah.
between
Yeah.
the HIIT workouts,
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
our little sessions.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I would just go straight. But I'm an athlete, I'm an
Yeah,
athlete.
oh,
So
yeah.
yes.
Super athlete.
Yes. So I would literally, my workouts would be 35 minutes because I would do the sets. I would get up, take my shower, and then go to clinic.
Yeah.
So that was simple. Getting up it was only 45 minutes. It wasn't get up, go to the gym, do this, do that, be in traffic, come back, which can take 3 hours. I literally woke up 45 minutes early, did the workout, hopped in the shower, and went to work. So that was simple for workouts, and the accountability of, you already told us what the workout sets were going to be. So I just read it. I actually write it down, put it on a piece of paper, look at it, do that for a minute, do the next thing. Sets were only 35 minutes. And then food, I would take my first and second meal. So here's the thing. If your window of eating is shorter and it's only 8 hours, you're actually eating for a less amount of time versus eating from sunup to sundown, which is typical of the standard American diet.
100%.
So I knew what I was going to eat. I had my 3 meals. I had a healthy snack if I needed it, if I needed to make it through. But the intermittent fasting was also part of it, saving money on meal prepping and saving money, and that we were eating in a certain time frame. So E2M makes what is complex very simple. They hand feed it to you like a toddler. Like, here's your food. Take it with a spoon.
We do.
Yes.
Well, you know, so Dr. Jones, let me ask you something though. So let's talk about what is considered unhealthy or unhealthy weight, because a lot of times people think, oh, fitness program, you just want me to have a 6-pack. I don't care if people have a 6-pack or not. I want them to be healthy. I want them to have healthy labs. I want them to have a healthy body. I want their body to function in the proper way it's supposed to function. So anybody can jump on, Dr. Jones, anybody. So what is considered obese? What is considered unhealthy for when it comes to weight and your cholesterols and all that kind of stuff?
I would say everybody has a different body type. And so when I say healthy, healthy means, is your mind clear? Do you have energy to do things that you want to do? So some things that you'll come up upon, even teenagers sometimes nowadays and 20s and 30s, is that they're restricted from doing things that they want to do because they're physically not capable, because they are not conditioned, because whether you're thinner or thicker, it doesn't matter, because you're deconditioned and you're not moving. People are on social media and on their tablets all the time or watching TV, that they're just deconditioned. So when I say healthy, I say, do you have energy that if you chose to do this, walk up Stone Mountain, if you chose to go to Disneyland with your family, that if you chose to do things for quality of life, do you have the capability and the energy to do so?
That's a good point.
And how do you feel? Is your brain clear? After you eat a certain food, do you feel like you have the itis, like, you know, after Thanksgiving meal, where you want to take a nap? The food that is for you is going to make you feel energized afterwards to go conquer the day. For me, with labs, being a primary care physician, that is you coming in, obviously, cholesterol being good, but it's not just the quantity, like the number of cholesterol. It's how much of the different types. So HDL, HDLs are a good type of cholesterol, happy HDL. And exercise is what is known to increase HDL ratio. So you can even have an elevated cholesterol, but if you have a lot of good HDL, then you're good to go. So and also, how do you feel in your clothes?
That's right.
You know, you could keep the same weight, but if you know your proportions are more muscle and you get slimmer, you feel good in your clothes. You want to take pictures. You want to be out and about. How do you feel?
100%.
Your energy, and looking at your labs with your physician.
And I love the fact that you need to, as a person out here trying to be healthy, you need to know your numbers, though.
100%.
Everybody needs to know their blood pressure, especially as you grow older. You know, you're in the 4th and 5th decades of life and beyond. You know, blood pressure has a tendency to elevate. So you want to make sure that you're checking your blood pressure and that you know you have a normal blood pressure. You want to know your cholesterol numbers. You want to know your total cholesterol is less than 200 and your HDL is over 60 and your LDL is, you know, less than 100. I mean, you need to know those things. Your hemoglobin A1C is a very important number to know as well, that is less than 6. So we like to see that these numbers are normal. And I definitely agree with Dr. Jones that, you know, it's not all about the numbers. You are a human being. I love hearing in E2M that some folks are saying it's me versus me. It really is the you are now, being a better you next year, being a better you tomorrow. So all is not lost because you're not perfect now. I mean, we all need a normal BMI in my assessment, because we know that abnormal numbers are associated with cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 cause of death in the United States.
100%.
So we want to prevent cardiovascular disease, so we need to know our numbers as a way of measuring our progress. So many folks that are doing E2M find that they're able to get off their blood pressure medications.
Absolutely.
Because as you improve your cardiovasculature, your blood pressure comes down.
Absolutely.
You know, as you improve your diet, your cholesterol normalizes. So there's so many things that E2M is offering that's going to make these numbers right. And we know that making these numbers right improves your ability to have longevity. And that's what we all want.
That's good. It brings up a good point. You asked about numbers. You asked about how you feel. Let's talk about this waistline. We do know that central abdominal obesity, so where your midsection, we can't help the DNA that you're born with, what kind of genetics, what kind of body shape you have. But we do know that with that wider abdominal circumference, it's associated with a lot of metabolic issues, cardiovascular issues, diabetes. A lot of different qualities. We're not talking about getting fit because you got a BBL, but we're talking about actually losing the weight and improving your quality of life. So even if you have any kind of surgical modifications, you still have to understand that you still have those risk factors that you've had for all those years, that you still need to make sure you are making those lifestyle changes for the rest of your life so that you don't get back that central abdominal obesity.
E2M is the natural BBL.
There you go.
Get that natural BBL, baby.
And I love all the posts that people post talking. I see all the time my A1C went down. My doctor took me off hypertension medicine. So E2M is a lifestyle that reverses chronic disease, prevents it from happening, and reverses chronic disease. And I see something posted every single day in the group, and it makes me so happy. It's doctor approved.
I like that. I like that. I'm gonna come back to that one. But ladies, let me talk about something that I've seen in my life, but I want to know how you guys deal with it because you're the doctors. So I've always heard people say to other people, "Oh, girl, you're getting too skinny," or "Bro, you're getting too skinny." But I never hear people say, "Bro, you putting on a little bit too much weight." Oh, bro, you getting a little thick. So when you have patients come in and you tell them, how do you approach that conversation with them? And how do they take that conversation, and what's the next steps for them? Because a lot of people don't take the next steps. So when it comes to somebody coming in your office and you know that they could benefit from weight loss, how does that conversation go, and what is a normal next step?
I start by reviewing their vitals. I start by reviewing the BMI. I say, your BMI is overweight. Your BMI is obese. How do you feel about it? And I just leave it open-ended. It might turn into tears. And it might say, "Oh, so you told me I was super thick, fine." No, I said that you are obese, ma'am. And then I ask, just in general, I say, this is something that we all deal with. This is something I've dealt with. I've had babies. I gained 60 pounds with one of my pregnancies. I'm only 4'11", so I don't know how you get that much weight.
A little life-size brownie.
I'm fun size.
I love it.
So just creating an open dialogue and finding out where they are in the readiness to be a part of a program, or just are they willing to lose weight? Do they understand that it is a problem? And a lot of families, you're absolutely right. There's so much stigma with getting too skinny. People, especially in the South, they want to have a shape and they don't want to lose this. They're so afraid they're going to lose their butt. Let me tell you, you're going to lose the fat and replace it with muscle. So please don't be afraid. You're not going to lose. You're not going to lose your shape, but you are going to be healthy. And so I tell patients all the time that they need to change their thinking about what normal looks like, what healthy looks like. You're not too skinny. You are absolutely ideal. This is what people need to be ready to look like. This is the normal. And not taking away from any other shapes, but normalizing being thin, being fit. I'm not going to say thin because I don't want skinny BMI underweight. But we want healthy,
slim thick.
100%. So what about you, Dr. Jones? How do you approach that conversation doing, visits of patients coming in and you can tell that they benefit from losing a little bit of weight, or they're actually overweight? How do you approach that conversation? And the biggest thing for E2M is I want E2M to be the next step. So they come in and see their doctor, and their doctor tells them, you might want to lose some weight to get healthier in these areas. So how do you do it? Here's the next step.
I would say that 75% of my patient demographic is overweight.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they already have chronic conditions, I let them know that part of putting this, if you would, do you want to continue on medicine? I can definitely do that. I can prescribe that. But the goal would be, would you like to come off of medicine? And if you do want to come off of medicine, part of that is going to be movement and food choices, which in turn will help you lose weight. The goal is fitness, movement, and food choices to put things in remission, and therefore you will slim out. People
to keep people from seeing people like her, this kind of doctor.
Yeah.
She is, and
she's inpatient.
She's end of life, end stage organs, and
Absolutely.
I think you have a lot of insight as to what that looks like, and sometimes, especially with young people, they don't really understand that. Okay, when I get old, this may happen. I'm okay. You're gonna die of something at some point, but they don't realize that these effects are right now.
Absolutely.
We see 18-year-olds, we see 12-year-old children with high blood pressure, diabetes. That is all environmental related, what they're putting into their bodies. And I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. It's okay. I know. I always say that when somebody who's overweight or obese, even if you don't have the triad is around the corner. It's peaking. It's going to rear its ugly head. The triad being hypertension, diabetes, and elevated cholesterol. Those three, if you have one, the other two are around the corner. If you have two, the other one's around the corner. So they come together. And so I basically just say, and especially for diabetes, that the sugar eats away at your blood vessels, your nerves, and your blood. And that is a pain. It takes a decade or two off of your life. But also that last decade that you are alive is going to be very painful. Because it eats away at the nerves of your eyes. You have, some people, the top two reasons for dialysis, stage 5 chronic kidney disease when you're on dialysis, is hypertension and diabetes that weren't controlled.
I've had a lot of family members had to go through dialysis, and I mean, it does not sound fun at all.
It's sad because it's preventable. Majority of the time, it's preventable.
Wow.
We can't talk about salt. Can you talk about salt?
Well, I'm going to just say the central issue with all disease, especially chronic disease, is chronic inflammation. It's chronic inflammation. What causes chronic inflammation? Poor diet, stress, poor sleep habits, So these things are discussed by me all the time because by the time I take care of someone, like you said, Dr. Strozier, is that these folks have chronic disease. They are already at the end of the spectrum of illness. And that's not hard to get to. I mean, a lot of young people think they've got a lifetime to get there. But E2M will help them if they can get involved in it to improve their blood vessels, which improve their risk of not getting cancers, improve their ability to have great muscles and joint preservation, which is very important. A lot of folks don't talk about the importance of maintaining their musculature for strength and joint preservation. I'm taking care of a lot of folks who are hip replacements and knee replacements and who are having falls. And those issues all arise from growing weaker over time, developing what you described as metabolic syndrome, and developing chronic disease. And so definitely in the hospital environment where we're on the other end of that spectrum, I'm always trying to encourage folks to look at their situation today, understand that your decisions have led to today. It's not just genetics. A lot of folks think, oh, my grandmama had it, my daddy had it, I'm going to have it. No, you're eating the same thing they ate. You're behaving the same thing as far as your lifestyle. So you're ending up with the same illnesses, but it does not have to be that way.
Right.
No, it
does
doesn't
not have to be your story. When we're talking about blood vessels, if you can just imagine a tunnel or, going through, right now you might feel fine. You have, this is the way I look at it with my children. Let's just imagine we're going down one of those slides at the water park. Everything is moving fine. But throughout the years, packing on cholesterol in those vessels, it's going to make it move slowly. So now you might hit a bump. And so that turbulence in your blood vessels is coming from what you're doing, the bad diet throughout the years.
Wow.
And it's silent until one day you get a heart attack, or it's silent until one day you can't feel your toes because you have diabetes that has affected your nerves. So you're absolutely right. It is what you do right now. And those are also some things that we
Yeah.
talk about. Like, what does family look like? How did you feel when grandma, who was close to you that you took care of or that you saw go
Right.
through a medical issue at the end of their life? Do you want that for you? So there are a lot of different ways that we can influence patients and
Yeah.
to be healthier. But right now, E2M is everything that we teach.
I
We
love it.
teach we want our patients to be healthier. We say we teach about intermittent fasting, we teach about meal plans, meal
I love
preps.
it.
I send patients to nutritionists.
I love
You
it.
have everything bottled up in a package
That's right.
and a community that of people online, social media. You took this and you ran with it, but it's everything that we've been saying for years. But you made it achievable and
Yeah.
sustainable. That's the big thing. Is the sustainable. I can't even say the word.
That's all good.
Yes.
It's all good.
Sustainability.
I just wanted to
jump on
talk
in.
about, let's talk about the men.
Mhm.
So we're talking about blood vessels.
Yeah.
What is the number one blood
Hey, now you're
vessel
talking
in a
now.
man?
Hold on.
The penis.
All the men in the
the
room
penis.
like, what?
Well, wait, no, wait.
Yes,
The penis is the dipstick of health in men.
Every man in the
The
room was like,
penis
what'd
is
you say?
the dipstick of health in men.
But they don't come to see us because they couldn't have a bowel movement. They don't come to see us
Cold-blooded.
because they've changed their prescriptions
Yeah.
3 or 4 times and they don't understand why
Uh-huh.
they're seeing blurry. They only come because they can't get it up. So that number
Oh,
one, no, I'm
man.
serious.
Savage.
How many times do we talk about it? They haven't been to the doctor in 10 years. But
Yeah.
erectile dysfunction is the number. All right,
Wow.
The
I'm gonna
top
get on
two
it.
causes
Yes.
of erectile dysfunction are hypertension and diabetes.
Oh, wow.
So the penis is the dipstick of health. What is the penis? It is a blood vessel.
Dang, Wow.
So when you think about blood vessels, they're supposed to be able to open up and they're supposed to be able to close down. When you
Absolutely.
think about a man having an erection, they need to be able to open the blood vessel to let the blood in, but also the blood vessel has to be compliant enough to close down to keep the erection until there is a climax that happens.
Oh, man.
So if you have diabetes or hypertension that has hardened this blood vessel, which is the penis, the man's
Yeah.
dipstick of health,
Yeah.
it cannot open up to let a full erection happen,
Wow.
nor can it close all the way down to keep the erection until climax.
Man.
So we need to bring the men into this too. The penis is the dipstick of health. The top two causes of erectile dysfunction are hypertension and diabetes.
So hold on,
And
Doc.
then-
Let me make sure we understand that clearly. For everybody in the room, being healthier,
Yes.
bringing down your weight,
Yes.
Yes.
doing some more movement could increase your sexual performance.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
So
Come on,
E2M
ladies, what y'all say, ladies? What y'all
helps
say?
the cardiovascular
Absolutely.
system, which therefore helps
Absolutely.
you in the bedroom. Yes.
Absolutely.
Man.
And then just to
Absolutely.
imagine if you're put on a blood pressure medication
Yeah.
that is meant to relax the blood vessels so that you don't have high blood pressure,
Yeah.
it also makes it difficult to achieve an erection if you're on a blood pressure medication.
Right.
So
Wow.
improving your health with E2M, weight loss,
Okay.
diet, exercise, and coming off of those blood
Mhm.
pressure medications
Yeah.
can improve also that
So
lifestyle.
instead
get
of
on
the gas
E2M.
station pills, come on over to E2M.
Yes.
All
Get on
right, no
E2M.
problem.
Getting off the
Get off the
medicines is
medicine, get a better
is
erection.
a really
Oh,
great
man.
reason to do exercise, change your diet, to come off the medicines. I'm writing, 10, 20 prescriptions
Wow.
for folks. And what you
Man.
find is that there's a side effect of every medication.
is.
Mhm.
It
Oh,
may
yeah,
be
true.
helping you
That's true.
in a certain way, but it's definitely
effects.
causing other side effects.
Yeah.
Many side effects of drugs is fatigue.
It
I
is.
mean, so while you're taking medications to help with blood pressure, you're feeling worse.
Right.
And so definitely taking care of your health, coming off medicines is going to make you healthier in
Dr.
general.
Ross, I want to jump all over that one because this is something that, I don't talk about much, but it bothers me. Being on medication is not a solution all the time. Sometimes
Oh,
it's a warning,
no.
right?
Absolutely.
And so talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. A lot of folks are waiting for doctors to solve their problems.
Right.
So they come to us, they have high blood pressure, they have high cholesterol, they're overweight, and they expect us to write the prescription
fix
to
it.
fix the problem. And really what we're doing is we're putting a Band-Aid. We're just
Yes.
putting a
100%.
Band-Aid. And you look up and you're in the hospital. By the time you see me, you're in the hospital and
That's
the
right.
Band-Aids have not worked.
100%.
And so we're at a whole nother level by the time you make it to the hospital. So the bottom line is we're putting Band-Aids. And my goal as a physician really is to empower you to stop coming to me
Yeah.
as the solution for you. You are your own solution. Every problem you have can be solved by a change in your lifestyle.
Yep.
All
Absolutely.
you got to do is sit down, consider E2M, because everything that Jeff has rolled into
Yep.
this fitness program really could solve your problems.
That's
And
it.
I hear folks talking about, well, once again, my mama had it, my daddy had it, it's genetic. No, I don't really believe that. I believe that you all have the same lifestyle for the most part.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you change your lifestyle, you're going to see results. I can
Yep.
tell you personally that I've seen results. I hadn't seen results in
I
years.
love it.
But because I've switched my high calorie breakfast to a high protein one, I see results. I'm not starving. I've started intermittent fasting.
There you
So
go.
I see now that you don't have to eat 2, 3, 4 meals a day. You could just have really, I don't really need much more than 2 meals a day, really good ones.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I feel great. And I think that, folks need to take their own health into their own hands.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
healthcare system is overwhelmed.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
overrun.
Yeah.
We're all burnt out.
Yep.
So it will be best, it's in your best interest to
Yeah.
take care of your issues before you have to come and see me.
Yes.
100%.
20% is genetics, 80% is the lifestyle that you live. And that's where E2M comes in,
Wow.
Right.
handling the 80%. You can have genetics that are 20% that your parent had this, or that, but the
Right.
penetrance can be put in reverse through the lifestyle that you live, stress
Absolutely.
reduction, food, and exercise.
And
I
one more
love it.
thing
Yeah, yeah.
to add to that part is, even if you do develop disease,
Yeah.
if you're in good physical
You
condition,
can fight it.
you
Yes.
can fight
That's
it.
right.
You
Yeah.
have a lot of reserve. You're
right.
able to bounce back quicker.
That's
Even
right.
if you develop cancer, you're able to recover quicker. You're able to tolerate treatment. So there's so many benefits of being healthy, even if you do develop disease.
I gotta say
Absolutely.
that one because we've had some stories in the group that has been touching to me. A lot of people could have, not always, but some people could go into remission because their body's healthy enough to fight off the cancer versus people who are not healthy enough. So literally being healthy could save your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're healthy at the outset, even of an accident,
Mhm.
something you couldn't even control. Car accident,
Yeah.
you can't control it.
Yeah.
But you come into the hospital, you've had crushed ribs, you've got broken bones, but you're physically fit.
Yeah.
You've got good musculature, your heart and lungs are good shape, your kidneys work well. You're going to be much more likely to bounce out of that hospital and jump back to a normal life. But if you're already weakened, you have poor musculature, you've already got joint problems, you've got heart disease already, your blood pressure's out of control, it's harder for us to help you.
Yeah.
That
So-
applies to childbirth too. Dr.
does.
Strozier, your
man.
healthy
Let's
patients
talk
have
about
a
it.
very good,
Yes,
labor. Go ahead.
Let's
We
talk
absolutely.
about it.
There are so many benefits of being healthy during pregnancy. Unfortunately, we have a lot of women who are not. And so when we think about obesity, it increases healthcare cost for
Mm.
yourself. You
Wow.
have to undergo more tests, more screening for diabetes, higher likelihood of developing high blood pressure, higher likelihood of having a preterm delivery. If you have a preterm delivery, you're already putting a chronic condition on your newborn baby as well.
Mm.
When you
Right.
think about the airway, if they have to have a tube down their throat,
Wow.
then you're also increasing their risk of asthma and other airway diseases that
Man.
now you have to do steroids and a lot of other stuff that you're
Mhm.
introducing to a newborn.
Man.
So definitely, you think about high blood pressure in pregnancy, that is a significant risk factor for stroke, a significant risk factor
Yeah.
for seizures.
Mhm.
And when we think about long-term illnesses, if you have any of those medical issues during pregnancy, you're likely to develop them lifelong.
Right.
So I
Wow.
have had patients that were so alarmed, I can't believe I developed preeclampsia, which is high blood pressure in pregnancy.
Yeah.
And they decide to do something about it. They say,
Mhm.
I'm not going to let this be my issue, and I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to become healthier.
Right.
I love it.
I've never had these problems, but oh my gosh, I started becoming more familiar with what happens in my family.
Yeah.
We also think about with morbid obesity, it also can affect your ability to get an epidural, or
wow. That's
Have
deep.
as far as-
imaging.
yeah,
We see it with
yeah.
the
We can't-
imaging issue. We
you-
can't put
Wow.
you in the machine.
I've had patients not be
Wow.
able to get diagnosed with a twisted ovary because they were too obese to get into a machine
Right.
to help diagnose. So it delays
Right.
diagnosis.
Wow.
It also makes it difficult for us to do our jobs to take really good care of you.
Wow.
But I've
Surgical
seen
side effects.
surgical
Yes.
infection.
Can't reach the issue.
Absolutely. You can't get to it. So when we think about how we're going to be healthy, you know, a lot of times patients come to see me to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And the first thing I look at is their BMI. If you're obese, you have a higher chance that you're in a metabolic state that is not allowing your body to ovulate. What happens is the excess fat makes more estrogen, the hormones that come from your ovaries, and it's sending a constant signal to your brain that says, we have enough estrogen, we have enough estrogen. So it messes up the entire hormonal communication between your brain, your body, as far as your ovaries, and you're not ovulating.
So I got.
What is ovulation? for the lay people?
Ovulation
Yeah,
is
no problem.
when you're popping an egg from your ovary.
Oh, I love it. I
So
got.
the sperm can find it. Go
So the
ahead.
sperm
I
can
love
find it.
I got to ask you a question about that one because it's very important.
Okay.
I'm from the South, right? A lot of us are from the South, right? It's believed that you need to fatten up to
No.
get pregnant.
Goodness.
Absolutely
Oh.
not. We need to
I'm,
thin down.
I'm sure y'all heard that before, right? Y'all heard it before, right?
We need to
like
slim.
don't
Right.
do too much working out, girl. Be
Right.
trying to have a baby.
No,
Right.
Talk about that.
This is really, really good. There is absolutely no reason, unless you have a high-risk pregnancy and you have been told not to exercise. You don't need to fatten up to get pregnant. You should be just having your regular healthy lifestyle. We recommend at least 150 minutes of exercise per week, a healthy, balanced diet. The program that Jeff has, it would be applicable during pregnancy, before pregnancy, after pregnancy. And so when we're looking at those overall, I'm so sorry, I got a little lost in the question, but
Yeah.
we
so,
were talking
so,
specifically about
yeah,
fattening up.
Yeah. So I was talking
Okay.
about the whole thing about having
No.
to put on weight to get
No.
pregnant.
No.
That's been a myth
In-
out there
Right.
for a
In this-
long time.
It
I've
is
even
a
heard that. I'm a
myth.
man. I even heard that before.
It is
We're
a
not
myth.
fattening up. And no, she does not need to sit in the house and be a princess and get plump. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Even during pregnancy, we recommend
Yeah.
that you still keep a regular exercise
I
plan.
love it. I love it.
You don't want your heart rate to get above like 140s, so you can check it intermittently, but absolutely do not stop exercising. You should not be doing extreme weights. Most people would say keep it under 25 pounds, but you can continue your regular regimen. I've seen people start a workout plan in the pregnancy and they've lost weight. We don't want people to lose weight in pregnancy. We definitely want them to maintain, but their babies still come out healthier.
I love it.
A lot of times people think that obese women have bigger babies, but really sometimes we see growth restriction because of the
Oh,
metabolic
wow.
issues. You're not getting adequate blood flow to the baby.
Wow.
And
Wow.
oftentimes there could be other chronic illnesses like sleep apnea. If you're not sleeping appropriately, you're not oxygenating your heart,
Yeah.
you're not oxygenating the blood that's getting to the baby. And so
Yeah.
we see a lot of growth restriction. And that means the baby
Mhm.
that should be 7 pounds is now 4.
You know that's a
Mhm.
good point for all three of you ladies. A lot of times, and we see this often. And fortunately for me, I'm a fitness guy, so it didn't happen to me when we had our daughter. But a lot of times, the husband also picks up some weight when the wife is pregnant, because of course, if your wife is pregnant, you get her what she wants, and if it's in the house, we're going to eat it too. So a lot
Right.
of times, those husbands pick up that weight as well. So what should be the signal for a new family that's just had 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, however many kids, to say, okay, we've given ourselves a pass that this was baby weight. It's time to get healthy.
Mm.
Right.
Well, I think we all can probably say when you go to the doctor, first off, people should have an annual visit to their doctor at least once a year. So when we see that and you're reviewing your labs, you're reviewing your BMI, that is when you have to own it. I don't know where people actually just pull it back in. I think a very good question I ask patients is, how much did you weigh when you were 18 years old? And that's a good reference of really what their goals should be
Mhm.
with their E2M fitness goal.
Yeah.
So, ooh.
I would say
I'm a
like
little
if,
short of that.
if you did a C-section on them,
Yes.
we can delay it a little bit longer, and then you encourage breastfeeding because that burns about
It burns
500
some.
calories a day.
Yeah.
So
were you asking me specifically in relation to surgery and deliveries?
Oh, no.
Just in
Yes,
general.
in general.
like
Yeah,
baby
yeah.
weight, when to
Baby
get it
weight.
off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in
No.
general, with the baby
Mhm.
weight, postpartum, we tell patients that you're clear at 6 weeks.
Mhm.
However, you can start back walking when you feel ready.
Yeah.
So if that's a week after delivery and you want to put your baby in a stroller and go for a walk, that's great for
Yeah.
number one, wellness.
Yeah.
You're getting natural sunlight, that's vitamin D, which is
Yeah.
also going to decrease the risk of postpartum depression.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you're starting to
Mhm.
jumpstart your metabolism as well.
And I definitely want to
So-
plug myself and plug my group. We have a postpartum group, an aspect of the
Yes.
group
Oh,
that's
wow.
Right.
specifically for postpartum
Right.
mamas.
Yes.
Awesome.
I don't want anybody to feel like they're just stuck with the weight.
No,
Because
absolutely not.
because I watched my wife after she had our daughter, it's like you're already trying to make sure the baby sleeps enough and eats
Uh-huh.
enough
Right.
and all that. There's a lot of
Right.
extra variables in there. And so on top of that, you start to look at your body.
Mhm.
You're not pregnant anymore.
Mhm.
So
Right.
you may lose that confidence because you're not pregnant anymore. So you
Right.
can't attribute it to being pregnant, but you want to get your body back.
Right.
So I really
Right.
wanted to make it safe in
Right.
terms of having the postpartum guidance for milk production, that kind of stuff, but also effective so people can get back to themselves and feel
Mhm.
good about it, not just say, hey, I got to live with this lower self-esteem because I just had a
No.
baby.
So to
Right.
me, the
Yeah.
biggest thing
Mhm.
is just activity, becoming
Right.
active again a lot. This is not the 1800s where you go outside and you get infected and, they tell you to stay at home for 2
Yeah.
months. We're not doing that. We
Right.
want our moms active. We want them up moving. I'm not saying do a full workout. You definitely need to individualize your health care with your doctor
Yeah.
and ask when it's safe to return. But usually after anything surgical, you can resume your normal activity after about 6 to 8 weeks.
Love it.
But
one of-
walking, anybody,
Yeah.
Yeah.
staying active, walking around the house, walking around your neighborhood is
Right.
something you can
And
pretty much
walking
do.
in nature is mentally and emotionally helpful too, to
Right.
decrease stress and get reconnected to nature.
Yeah.
Because we're in the
Absolutely.
house and we're everywhere, there's electromagnetic frequencies.
Right.
Yeah.
On your phone, on your tablet, everywhere. There's Wi-Fi, electromagnetic frequencies,
Right.
satellite,
100%. Yeah.
everything.
Absolutely.
And so when you go outside, I always tell my patients, put your phone on airplane mode and just use it as to take pictures as a camera. You can turn it back on if a bear is
Right.
coming after you to
Right.
call
Right.
911. But other
Yeah.
than that, put your phone on airplane mode and
Just
reconnect
enjoy,
with nature.
enjoy nature.
Absolutely.
And I
When you're-
remember
yeah.
as a young mother just
Mhm.
thinking I didn't have time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
thinking you
yeah.
don't have time.
Mhm.
Everything is so rushed.
It
But what
is.
I think though is now we have the freedom to exercise for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You exercise for 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
100%.
Split it up, make it work
Mhm.
for you.
Yeah.
There are no rules around being healthy anymore. I mean, I think folks get really bogged down with trying to fit in a box.
Yeah.
I think what E2M offered me was the freedom to make it my own.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's really liberating for anyone who needs to exercise. And I think a new mom should just take a 10-minute walk and let that be it.
Yeah.
Feel very good
Mhm.
about
There
that.
we go.
And
Yep.
then, next week, take a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
Ease yourself into it without the stress of feeling like you've got to compare yourself to other folks that may be exercising for an hour or doing a half a marathon.
Right.
Just don't compare yourself to anyone.
Yeah.
Move your body, eat, be a conscious eater.
I love it.
Conscious about what you're putting in your mouths. I think sometimes as a woman who's, growing older, you sometimes have cravings.
Yeah.
The cravings are incredible.
Yeah.
And I think, the things that's helped me to avoid the cravings definitely has been the nuts
Yeah.
and the sugar-free gum
Yeah.
and the water.
Yeah.
But definitely the water.
I want to
So-
jump on that.
Yes,
And right
water.
now, because I'm big
Water,
on water, we're going to
H2O.
take a water break real quick.
Yes.
Water.
And while we're taking this water break, I want you guys to talk. Anybody can talk. The importance of water. So I'll tell my story real quick as you ladies enjoy your water there. Growing up, I didn't drink water. It's either Kool-Aid or soda. If we didn't have Kool-Aid or soda, there was nothing in the house to drink. There was an
Right.
abundance of water. And so during my long time in the military, I've been in all kinds of countries that clean water is not available.
Right.
And it made me appreciate the ability to have clean drinking water.
Wow.
So when I would prefer
Yeah.
not to drink water, other people can't have that water.
Right.
So kind of talk to us about the importance of drinking water, how much water they should drink a day, how should they start incorporating water into their lives? Because water is important.
Yeah, I think water really affects all the chemical reactions in our bodies. We're 75% water. So we need to replenish. We have these sensible losses. We're breathing, we're losing water. When we sweat and perspire, we're losing water. We're, excreting water in our, from our kidneys and everything. So we need to replenish water often. And so, I think E2M has a right on the 64 ounces per day, but many of us need more water than that. I mean, we're losing water in other ways. So water improves our mental clarity. It improves our hair and skin, which all of us girls are definitely all into.
Matter of fact, all your hair and skin look good, by the way.
Thank you. I mean, water improves our cardiac function. It improves our kidney function. Water is just the source of life, really. For me, it's definitely made me, like I said, less hungry. Drinking a glass of water before I eat my meals and replacing sugary drinks or any drinks with a glass of water really is a bonus. So water is just everything. I mean, it's definitely a key to weight loss.
Yeah. This is an internal medicine doctor saying this. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. So when it comes to water, our cells reproduce and they split, and there's metabolic waste that happens.
Right.
Do you want your cells reproducing in a sewer or in Niagara Falls?
Ooh, I like
Tell
that.
it.
I like that.
And if you think about it, if you have toxins, let's just say that we have a river and that there's a boat that has toxins in it, right? If you don't have water to lift the boat up to get the toxins out of your body, you literally just have toxins sitting in your body.
Man.
You don't think that affects how you feel, fatigued. You don't think that affects anxiety and depression and mental disorder.
Right.
That's what water is for. It is the medium to bring life to your cells and to take toxins away.
But Dr. Jones, I drank a gallon of tea every day. Doesn't that count?
No. All that sugar and the diuretic.
But it's got water. You had to use water to make the tea, right?
No, sir. No,
So
sir.
what's the difference between if I drink a gallon of water or if I make that gallon of water tea?
So tea is a natural diuretic, which means that you actually dehydrate yourself. When you use diuretic,
what's that mean, doctor?
Diuresis means like getting
Urinating.
Yes,
Yeah,
diuresis, urinating.
water coming
So
out.
tea and coffee is a natural diuretic that will actually dehydrate you.
Right.
Oh, man.
So you got to put it back in.
You said you were raised in the South. What about basically that whole bag of white sugar that was placed into the sweet tea?
It might have been 1 or 2 bags.
Let's talk about that too. Have you guys ever seen, like, they do all these different science experiments.
Right.
But if you have a big gallon of sugar or whatever, and you have another little bag of water, it's going to shrivel your cells. You're talking about dehydration. You're talking about what we can't see microscopically what is happening on the inside. But if you can imagine when people get dehydrated, how the skin gets wrinkly, that's what's happening to all of your cells in your body. And you're thinking about all of your organs that are supposed to be functioning.
So hold on. I just paid a lot of money for my retinol cream and all that. Are you mean to tell me water can do the same thing?
Water can do the same
It can help from the inside.
Okay.
What you're putting
Right.
in.
Right.
I do like the retinol too, though.
I love the fact that,
like
a lot of people complain about headaches, chronic
Oh,
headaches.
man.
They have constipation issues. People don't think about water as the solution for chronic headaches a lot of times and chronic constipation.
Now we're getting into
Yes.
It
yes.
is the one.
I gotta ask y'all
It
a
is the
question.
one
Yeah.
beverage
Yeah.
that was put on this earth.
Yeah.
When we talk about everything that you put in your body, water was already here.
So hey, you are hitting on the key thing, docs. So let's say I'm somebody that drinks a whole bunch of sodas, right? I'm a
Right.
Mountain Dew guy, and there's
Right.
nothing against Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew is a
Right.
great drink, but I'm a soda guy. All right,
Right,
so
right.
forget the Dew. I'm a soda guy, and I drink a lot of soda,
Right.
and I stopped drinking soda. So a lot of people on my program, they've been used to drinking that gallon of tea, whole bunch of
Right.
sodas, and they stop drinking and they start getting headaches.
Yeah. You're gonna
Why
caffeine.
are they getting headaches?
It's
Yeah.
the caffeine withdrawal.
They're
Mm.
withdrawn from carbohydrates
And
too.
the
I mean, it's a
carbs,
lot of
yes.
sugar, a lot of refined sugars in soda. I mean, soda is deadly. It really is.
Wow.
I mean, soda
Yeah.
is a deadly drink, and I see a lot of end-stage neurological manifestations of soda water drinking.
Yeah.
A lot of cardiovascular disease. The underpinnings of it come from drinking tons of sugary drinks. like soda. Soda is
Yeah.
terrible for the vasculature. Soda has a lot of sodium. So, you know, it can raise your blood pressure. So a lot of drinks have too much sugar, too much sodium. They're they are carbonated. They're carbonated drinks. So you're bloated. You have a lot, your vasculature is full, your pipes are full, and you're gaining calories from it. So you're gaining weight. So
it's also bad for your oral hygiene.
Ooh.
It breaks down your enamel. It makes
now.
you at a higher risk of having dental cavities, abscesses. If you have bad oral hygiene, it also can make you have infections that are systemic. And so that is one of the other things that, you know, soda is bad.
Diabetes and morbid obesity.
Yeah.
So, and it's the Coca-Cola effect you were talking about.
Right.
So Coca-Cola puts number 1, caffeine.
Right.
But number 2 is the sodium, which is the salt.
Right.
What is that supposed to do? It's supposed to dehydrate you and make you thirsty.
So you
thirsty for what? More Coca-Cola.
Right.
And what is supposed to cover that up? The sugar.
Right.
The sugar's supposed to mask the sodium and the salty taste.
Right.
It's all in effect to basically make you want to drink more. So when you drink soda, the point of it, they're very smart. This is like the drinks are made in a chemistry lab. It is not real food, right? And so what is their thought process? How do we make you want more?
Right.
And so the whole point, when you drink a soda, you have this little high, right? And then you come down. So what's going to bring you back up because you went below that when you crashed?
More
You need
soda.
another
More
one.
soda.
So it's very
man.
it is on
Absolutely.
purpose, and you have to follow the dollars.
That's
Right.
sad.
And I got to
so when
tell
we
you,
think
in the
about-
hospital, I see people who can't be without their soda.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks
in the
think
hospital want
in
the
the
soda.
hospital they have it in the
Oh,
you know,
man.
they have diet drinks. A lot of folks think that diet drinks are the solution. They're bad for you
What?
as well.
Hold on, don't take my diet soda.
Oh yeah, diet soda is not the
It's trash.
It's trash.
Oh,
it is
man.
trash. It is not the
Oh,
solution to your
man.
soda cravings.
This
The
whole
best.
podcast over. No,
I mean, I gotta tell you, it's sometimes you just gotta have one.
Right.
And if you just gotta have one, I guess you just should have one of the diet ones.
At your celebration meal.
Yeah,
Right,
it's true,
at your
it's
cheat
true,
meal.
it's
But I mean, to routinely drink diet soda thinking you're solving your soda problem
yeah.
is a terrible myth.
Right,
Because
right,
folks
right,
get
right.
neurological disorders because of the
The
aspartame.
aspartame and
Wow.
sucralose, they
Right.
are neurotoxic to
Right,
your
they're
body.
neurotoxic. I've seen folks who have, that's right, they can't walk, they have numbness and tingling, they have signs and symptoms
Got me
of
checking my
like
fingers
Like
up.
Parkinson's.
similar, I've had
Yeah,
patients
checking my
who were
fingers
like
over.
Diet Coke drinkers
Right.
that came on with symptoms like they had multiple sclerosis,
Right.
like
MS,
numbness and
Wow.
tingling.
Parkinson's
Once
type.
they
Diet,
came
diet
off-
soda, because I don't want them coming for me.
Right.
Diet
Yes.
soda.
Yes,
Yeah,
diet sodas.
it's diet sodas and definitely the
Yeah.
central obesity that Dr. Strozier was talking
Man.
about. Soda is causing this rim around your
Oh,
belly.
man.
If
Yes.
you want to get rid of that rim around your belly,
Get rid of the soda.
leave
Get rid
the
of the soda.
soda. Leave
Dang.
the soda.
So a lot of people don't realize how many calories they're drinking. I don't want to go too far on the soda thing.
Ooh,
A lot of people
that's
don't
really
understand how
good.
many calories they're drinking
Right.
with the teas and
Yeah.
the sodas
Oh, my
and everything
gosh.
I
else.
had a little
The
label.
big gulps.
Yeah, I had a little
Oh,
label
gosh.
here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if people are really still reading
Yeah.
their nutritional facts,
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
but oftentimes, like you're saying, you
Yeah.
may think that one serving, just because it should be a one serving,
Yeah.
actually may have multiple servings. So you're reading,
Absolutely.
you're like, oh, this
Yeah.
little beverage here has 160 calories, but they're not looking at the fact that it says it has 2.5 servings.
Mm.
So then you have
Yeah.
to double and a half that.
Right.
Damn.
160, and so that
Setup.
bottle that is now 400 calories that
Yeah.
you thought was 160.
Well,
Setup.
people are
We like
yeah,
If you don't
500
have
calories.
patients that are morbidly, not necessarily morbidly obese, but that are obese, and they say, "Oh, I don't eat that much," and you ask them, you go through their day, and they really don't
Yeah.
describe eating that much.
Yeah.
But then you find out they drink 2 liters of Pepsi
And
every day.
sugary
Yes.
coffees
It's-
all day.
And
Right,
the sugary
and
coffees,
sugary
the sugary
coffee.
coffees are
Yeah.
big.
It's sugary
I had,
coffees.
I had a patient lose 15 pounds in 1 month just by giving up her
Wow.
one a day sugary beverage.
Dang.
Yes.
Right.
If all
That's
you drink is
crazy.
water and you remove the caloric intake that comes from
Yeah.
beverages,
You lose weight
you
right there.
like 5 pounds in a week and keep that going.
So, hey,
Right.
so on that, ladies, let's go into something else. One more specific thing. So I'm a big advocate of intermittent fasting. The reason why I'm a big advocate of that, I feel like it helps you control your caloric intake. For
Absolutely.
people that need to lose weight, to me, it's the easiest way to bring down the amount of food you put in your mouth every day to help you reduce your weight.
Right.
What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting. So another thing that happens is, if we're going into a little bit of science, is the reason why people need to eat all the time is because they're metabolically not flexible and they're insulin resistant. Okay?
So what does that look like? What does insulin resistance look like?
So what does that look like? Okay, if I am a car that has sugar and I'm in the blood vessel and I'm trying to get this out and store it, you need insulin to be able to get out into the parking garage.
Wow.
So if I'm the car, I have sugar in me, this is insulin, I need to go into the parking garage, swipe this, it lets me in, and I get to store the sugar in there.
Wow.
What is insulin resistance? The fact that I keep doing this and it won't let me into the parking garage.
Wow.
Where does that come from? That comes from metabolic syndrome from eating all the time. Back in the day, we used to kill a buffalo. The entire tribe would eat off of that buffalo. They would gorge themselves. They would feast. Then they might have an entire 7 days where nobody killed anything else, and you go into a famine. During that famine, they were metabolically flexible enough to go into their own deep store freezer and break down their
100%.
own fat and use it as energy. What has happened because we have refrigerators is that people can eat from sun up to sundown.
100%.
So if this is here, you are eating, and then when you come here, you are metabolically not flexible, you are insulin resistant, and you cannot go to your own deep store freezer to break down your own fat. So what do you need to do? Drink another soda, eat another donut, eat another whatever you're gonna eat to get that
100%.
energy back, because you can't have access to your own energy.
100%.
So insulin resistance is like when a child comes up to their mommy or daddy and says, "Daddy, daddy, Daddy, you're ignoring that child. Quit touching me. You eating too much all day, every 30 minutes." If you do your intermittent fasting, you fast for 16 hours, you finally come back into that 8-hour window. When I touch you, I say, "Daddy," you say, "What's up, Jasmine?"
Yeah, it's true.
So it's the alert. Intermittent fasting is actually alerting your body to say, we can actually activate and we can actually go in and pull that stored energy, which is in the form of fat. You can start breaking it down, whereas you had not broken it down for years. Now that intermittent fasting is activating the hormone cascade that is allowing your body to do what it was designed to do.
So it normalizes hormones, and it can put insulin resistance, diabetes, pre-diabetes in remission. Intermittent fasting calms your hormones.
Intermittent fasting is also associated with mental clarity, which is a huge perk for me as a physician. I need to be thinking about significant issues and helping save lives. So I need all the mental clarity I can get. So that's been a major bonus. And of course, it improves your immune system. It has been associated with a decreased risk of dementia, which memory loss is a huge problem in women. Aging women have more memory loss and dementia issues than men. So for me, knowing several of my friends and family who are developing memory loss, I definitely want to push down the road that will allow me to maintain my memory for the rest of my life. So intermittent fasting has been, determined to help with that. So definitely weight loss.
It's also anti-aging.
So
absolutely.
After 14 hours of fasting, which all of us are doing when we're on E2M, you go into autophagy. What is autophagy? That is when your body is like a janitor, will go and clean up debris and clean up old cells and get rid of them. So one of the top 2 ways to go into autophagy, which is your body being a janitor and cleaning itself out and getting rid of debris, which is anti-aging.
Hold on now.
Is after 14 hours of fasting and HIIT workouts, two of the things that E2M
that's in the program.
has us doing.
That's right.
So we are helping with anti-aging because we are doing 2 things, HIIT workouts and fasting after 14 hours, which elicits our body and catalyzes our body to go into autophagy, self-cleaning mechanisms that don't happen until you're fasting after 14 hours.
Nice.
I want to go back to one because I was jumping all over this one. This is another big deal to me. I feel like if you're healthy and your mind can be clearer, you can solve a lot of things that you probably couldn't solve. Life issues, relationship issues, things like that. Being patient with your kids and your spouse and all that stuff. If you have more mental clarity. So let's kind of talk about the benefits of mental clarity, because I think, we had an event recently and the gentleman was talking about, he's dealt with depression and that kind of stuff. And now that he's healthy, his mind is so much clearer. He's been able to come off of some of his antidepressants. And I was like, man, I wonder how many more people that deal with a lot of stress and depression and that kind of stuff, if they would just get healthy, it may help them with that mental clarity. But anybody can jump on that.
I mean, I think we don't talk about mental health enough. you know, mental health and how it affects our whole lives, you know, our mental well-being. You know, poor mental health leads to cardiovascular disease. If you're unable to clear your mind, resolve your depressive state, you're unable to do E2M. You really feel like you can't do it. You just feel like you can't get up in the morning. You can't get to work on time. You're not happy at work. You're not productive at work. Well, when you stop eating, your mind clears. I think many people need to stop eating so much and see how they feel with eating less. Me personally, I can tell you, I have felt like I could conquer the world in the morning since I've been intermittent fasting. Issues that used to be complicated in my business life, in my personal life, I really can solve them, like you described, Jeff, really much easier. I can create what we talk about as physicians, an assessment and plan for everything in my life. And so I think I'm a living witness that intermittent fasting causes mental clarity and improves your whole life.
And mind, body, and soul are connected. And if you work on one, the others have to follow suit.
Right.
So coming from multiple angles.
Absolutely.
And so when we're also thinking about even your exercise, you are taking the blood flow that has been stagnant all day and you're cycling it through your body, through your brain. So you're getting oxygen to your brain cells, you're waking them up. You're also releasing your natural hormones, the endorphins that are happy feeling hormones that are going to improve your quality of life. They're going to improve how you're feeling. They're going to improve your interactions with the people around you. So that's going to be at work. That's going to be with your family. And you're more than likely going to have a positive outlook on whatever it is that you're doing that day.
All right, Doc, so I'm going to jump on one other thing real quick. So you know, when you're in the social media space, you always have to deal with the good and the bad. So let's talk about something. Let's just call it what it is. What is a fad diet, and why is E2M not a fad diet? I want to hear it from doctors, not just some internet person.
We got credentials, y'all.
Yes,
Yeah.
So
People that have been in medical
board
school.
certified.
I want to hear
Absolutely.
the difference between a fad diet and E2M.
So I'm not going to put any specific names out there as far as fad diets, but the fad diets in my mind are those little quick starters that you have to follow or buy up a whole bunch of meals or eat this certain, take these pills, this, that, and the other, and you do it for a certain time frame and you're supposed to lose this amount of weight. To me, those are kind of a trendy type of thing. It's a quick fix. I'm going to lose a quick 10, 15 pounds, and then I'm going to be right back to whatever I was doing before. E2M is not a quick fix. This is a lifestyle modification. You're going to actually lose quickly, just like you with the other diet, because your initial weight loss is going to be mostly water weight. You're also going to transform your body pretty quickly. So that first initial weight loss, whatever program you do, it's going to happen. E2M is sustainable, and you're going to continue. It's a lifetime modification. This is not, you have to buy into this plan that you're going to receive this huge box. This is a support system. It's a network. It's a lot of different exercise options. I'm not big on spin, but I might like kickboxing. I might like, circuit workouts. You have a plethora of options as far as your exercise options. And then as far as your diet, he gives you so many options, so many different ways to do the diet that's sustainable. I don't think there's anything like that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I love that E2M caters to everyone. In the group, we have a whole, 6 figures of people in the group. They are every color of the rainbow. They come from most countries. They speak all type of languages. They are different fitness capabilities, from professional athletes down to someone who's never gotten off the couch.
That's right.
So E2M caters to anyone. Anyone that wants to get healthy.
Seniors.
Anybody that wants to move.
Yes.
And I started to stop saying exercise. I just said movement. Get up and start moving.
Yes.
The food choices. So E2M is for anybody that is alive.
That's
Right.
right.
I love it. I love it.
To me, E2M is something you can incorporate into your life, and it's scientifically proven things. These are, Jeff didn't just come up with some, I wouldn't be up here.
didn't.
Let me just say this. I would not be up here
Yeah.
Co-signing.
if
That's
the
right. It's
co-signer
Dr. Approved.
It's Dr.
if
Approved.
this were a so-called
right.
fad diet,
That's
he would
right.
not
That's
have been
right.
able to get me today.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
here because what Jeff has prescribed are things that are scientifically proven.
That's
I
right.
think the way he's put together the drink more water, to eat a higher protein, less sugary diet, to exercise each day, to do your cardio and to do some muscles and resistance training. These are
Yeah.
things that are proven to cause weight loss and proven to improve your health.
Right.
This is not something that he just created, and it's not something that's for a short period of time. These are things that will improve your life for the rest of your life. And what I love as a doctor that sees chronically ill patients and elderly patients is that I see seniors able to improve their lives. When I see someone, 60 and older doing E2M, and they talk about they've not been healthy in years, I'm like, oh my gosh, life is not over.
Right.
You
Exactly.
can always improve your life,
We have 70 plus folks, 70-year-old plus folks in the group.
Right.
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
you see them, you have to be inspired
100%.
that it's never too late to make good choices for your life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So ladies, let's talk about a few more things before we wrap it up here. I want to talk about a lot of doctors. This is why we're here today. A lot of doctors reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've done your program. I want to recommend it to my client. Send me some information." Why, as a doctor, you've been to medical school, you've all been to medical school, you have licenses and all that kind of stuff. Why are you recommending my program, or why would you recommend my program?
So I'm in the conventional model of medicine, which means you pay me a copay insurance and then I get to spend 15 minutes with you
Yeah.
because that's just where medicine is at, right? So because I only get that short amount of time with you, I have to come with resources and I don't have a lot of time to educate you.
Yeah.
So you have already done the research. You've already put the program together and made it easy peasy.
Yeah.
So what is my job? When I have a patient who really wants to get better, they want to put their disease in remission, or they want to prevent chronic illness, I do recommend E2M. I say, go to this Facebook page. They are on this week, and so they'll be doing signups at this time. Think about it. Talk to your spouse, talk to whoever, and sign up, because all the things that I can't talk about right now, because
Love
we
it.
only get this short amount of time,
Yeah.
they'll give it to you.
I love it.
E2M
Yes.
will give you the lifestyle
I
changes
sure will.
that
Yeah.
I
Happy to do
can't
it.
do in 15
Yeah.
minutes in a
Right.
doctor's visit. And it's not the patient's fault.
Yeah.
It's not the doctor's fault. It's just the system and how it is now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It is.
That's why.
It's
I love it.
definitely difficult. I agree. I co-sign everything that Dr. Jones said here. How many times do we not have enough time in the office visit, or we give patients a referral to see a dietitian, a nutritionist, and insurance won't pay for it?
Oh.
So if you
true.
have to go through a plan of insurance won't pay for it,
Yeah.
and how am I going to get educated, or what are my other options?
Good point.
This right here is at the patient's palm of their hand.
That's right.
It's in a phone, it's on the computer, and you can access it, and you can use all the videos over and over again. If you forgot something that was said 6 months ago, you can go back and find that video and reference it. And just like every year you kind of do a New Year's resolution, you can also make new resolutions. You can make new goals. And so I really like the fact that you have everything in a platform, very easy. It's the ease of the program to me. That is why doctors recommend this program. It's doable. The patients can access it. And you're doing everything that we don't have the time to talk about over and over again, or try to convince somebody. And then you also have a community of the network that everybody is having accountability, encouragement. Even if you don't have encouragement from your family, you have a community of people online with you that are strangers, but they are motivated just like you're trying to be motivated, but they're also encouraging you and telling you you're doing great. And that to me is why doctors can recommend this program.
Yeah, as doctors, we can give knowledge, but the application in the
Mhm.
community is all you.
I love it.
That's why it's sustainable. I
Yeah.
can give a patient a handout or tell them to watch a video, but then the application of it is E2M
That's right.
and also the community that continues it and the
Yeah.
accountability comes from that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have never seen so many people
Mhm.
so vulnerable that they
Yeah.
post their before and after pictures.
That's right.
I'm talking
Right.
about 500-pound people
It's a safe
who feel
place.
so
Yeah.
comfortable
Right.
Yeah.
and so honored and so safe
Yeah.
in the environment that you have created
Yeah.
that they would post a before picture of 500 pounds.
It's a
Yeah.
safe
And
place.
That
It's
is
a
what
safe
you
place.
have created. Positive comments only.
And
I
I
love it.
I like
appreciate
it.
the convenience of E2M, the fact that it's flexible, you can fit it into your own lifestyle,
Mhm.
the low cost nature
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was a great thing
Mhm.
when, one, we don't have to keep paying for it over and
Yeah.
over
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I think that that's a gift,
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
I
yeah.
was like, is that
a lot of
I was
organizations
nervous.
require you
Yeah.
to keep paying.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need a gym
100%.
membership. You don't have to buy
Yeah.
special equipment.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you can shape it around your life. To me, you know, most of the folks that I'm talking to are already on the platform anyway.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
already using the
Mhm.
platform.
Yeah, yeah.
They need the community.
Yep.
And it's like I said, it's something you can fit into your current life. So I don't see any drawbacks to you know, recommending E2M to anyone.
I love it.
E2M is a bargain for what we get.
It's
It
definitely
is.
a
Lifelong
bargain.
So
tools.
I'll go ahead and put that out there. So my program costs $320 one time, or you
Right.
can pay 8 weeks of $40 a week. And as Dr. Jones said earlier, I try to structure the program so you save the money you would have spent on all those sugary coffees and
Mhm.
sodas and eating out to where it pays for itself.
Right.
If you really do my program like it's meant to be done, nobody should not be able to afford it.
Right.
Yeah, you talk about $40 a week. You can spend that very easily going out to dinner. By the time you get an appetizer, a drink, an entree, that's $40.
It's one person.
And there you go.
That's
That's
one
for
person.
one person.
You can bring
Yeah.
your
So
you could-
spouse too. That's
there-
the other part.
100%.
So
Spouses
And-
are buy one, get
And
one.
because we're meal prepping, we're saving money.
Yes.
Yeah.
right.
Through the whole
Yeah,
8
yeah.
weeks, you're saving
Right.
money by meal prep.
100%.
So
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
No
It's-
gym
it's a bargain.
membership, no gas
Yeah.
to get to the gym.
Right in your living room.
You know,
in your
right in your
pajamas.
living room, in your pajamas.
Yeah.
It's
And,
awesome.
and to mention, your trainers
Yeah.
are very beautiful people.
Oh,
my
very
God.
nice
Very
guys.
aesthetically
My trainers
pleasing.
are
Yes,
fine.
the
Oh
trainers
my
are
gosh.
awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Shout out
Great
to
music.
my shout out to
Awesome.
my E2M training
Yes,
team.
they're beautiful.
Shout out to
They're
all my
fit.
trainers.
Yes.
Yeah. So hey ladies, thank y'all for enduring a long interview. But I want to finish out by having each of you tell people how they can find you, how you want to be contacted, if they want to reach out to you for your services, whatever you want to share. The mic is yours. Go for it.
Well, I am Dr. Curtina Strozier. I am actually in Columbus, Georgia. I am at Eldridge Mind, Body, Soul Wellness Center for Women, MBS. That is actually a new office that we've opened within the last 2 weeks.
Love it.
So we can be seen there. I also do Girl Talk with Doc C, which is a program that is mentoring young women along the paths of empowerment and also education on women's health topics. And so you can reach me on Instagram, Facebook at Katrina Strozier. I'm at Instagram. I'm also on what's the other one?
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Okay,
And
good.
what's the other one? The kids TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
And we'll make sure we throw those tags in there too. So
Thank
we'll make sure
you.
we tag you up.
And thank you so much for
Okay.
having me. This is something that
Of course.
we're passionate about. It is the
course.
bread and butter of what we do every day, taking care of
Yeah.
patients. And so you make our job easier.
Oh no, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jeff, my
Jay.
lifelong friend. I appreciate you. I am Dr. Barbara
Yeah.
Joy Jones. I can be found on Instagram at The Model Doc, TheModelDoc.
Love it.
I'm a primary care physician at the Healthy Woman Primary Care in Lawrenceville, Georgia. We see men and women 12 years old and older. And if you would like an appointment, if you live in the Atlanta or surrounding areas, we're in Lawrenceville. And that number is 770-809-1220.
Love
And
it.
again, Instagram at The Model Doc. And you can hit my inbox and I will respond.
I love it. I love it. All right.
First of all, I got to give a shout out to my line sisters who got
That's
me
what's
here.
up.
Wall
Woo,
Street
woo.
39, Ada
She's a
Capital
Delta.
Chapter, Spelman College. Shout out to my husband and business partner, Mark Ross.
All right.
But we own Right at Home, in-home care and assistance. We care for seniors and disabled adults. Want to shout out our 100 employees and just thank them for all that they do for us at Right at Home. Love my patients and family members and clients. My mom, who's a registered nurse, who's taken care of me and taught me how to care for people my whole life, Marsha Evans. So just want to let people know they can contact me at www.raheastatl.com. That's our website. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm Dr. Nicole Ross. And Jeff, thank you so much.
I love it.
This has been awesome. I've enjoyed seeing you today. I love your nighttime talks.
Thank you.
So I'm really excited to see you in person, Dr. Strozier and Dr. Jones. It's been amazing to join you. And thanks, Dwayne, for all of your help in getting us here.
I love it.
And Dr. Strozier and I, we're AKAs, by the way.
We're going to shout out Alpha Kappa Alpha
Sorority
Sorority
Incorporated.
It's
a serious matter.
Yes. And we do have moms who are Jack and Jill.
And we have a lovely Jack and Jill chapter in Stone Mountain chapter. So thanks.
Yes. And I'm in Columbus, Georgia. It's awesome.
I love it. So, so ladies, again, thank you so much. My goal today was to take away one of the barriers of getting fit and getting healthy, being skeptical about a program. I have a program that is 6 figures deep, full of people of all shapes and sizes, all economical, social status, anything. Anything you can name is in there. And my whole thing about it is I want more people to do the program. I want to bring fitness to more people. I want to bring health to more people. I have the price point down. I have the program to a science, and there's no barrier that I want to be there for people that need my services. So when you got 3 highly skilled doctors saying the program is what we say it is, I want to take away that one last barrier of, I don't know about them. I don't know about those results. They could be Photoshopped. No, none of our results are Photoshopped. Everything is real. These are real doctors. And one more thing, ladies, I did not pay you a single dime to be here, correct?
Zero. We are
Just
here
so y'all
on
know,
our own volition.
Absolutely.
Before all the conspiracy theories start, they came on their own because they are my clients. I love them. I'm so glad they are here to support me in the business because they also care about people being healthy, and I care just as much. So I hope you guys check us out. We're E2MFitness.com. You can find us at E2M Fitness on Instagram. E2M Personal Training is our Facebook page. But we hope you check us out and take away all those barriers because being healthy is important. If you improve your health, you will improve your life. Be blessed.